Hey, what is up, everybody? This is your boy AJTRIP, and this is the Wwe 2K26 review. I pre-ordered it, so I got the early access to it, and I've been playing it for about a week. And to be honest, I played for it a few days. Um, I did my things that I usually do on it. I created all of my players, and I did all of those things, and we'll get into that in a second because I know I'm probably a lot different than other people. And with that being said, there still needs to be some things that need to be fixed and brought back and everything like that. And we'll get to all of that things in a second. So for just overall, you know, play before I get into like specifics and everything like that. I've been a WWE 2K fan, and I like the game. I really do. There's a part of me that would like to see. I think I'd like to see some other company um, get the get the WWE game thing. Like I would love to see maybe what EA would do. I'm not sure about. I'm not sure about anything else. It's really these are like the two sports companies, right? It's EA and 2K. They make basically all of the sports games for the most part. When you think about NBA 2K, PGA Tour 2K, you think about I don't know, is there an NHL 2K? I know there's an NHL for EA Sports, and then of course you got Madden and other things like that. FIFA. So, you know, the part of me about 2K is I just think that, especially with this one, what 2K has done, it's just not been. It's starting to get old, and I think the first thing we need to talk about is the showcase mode. Now, when I heard that they were going to do showcase mode with CM Punk, okay, that's fine. That makes sense. And some of the things that they were talking about, okay, that's fine. It makes sense as well. Um, but when I also heard that there was an opportunity to not go through showcase mode, you would run a gauntlet where you would face all of the wrestlers that you're gonna face in showcase mode, but you would do it in a gauntlet. I was like, wow, okay, cool. I like that. That would be interesting. I can just do the gauntlet. I don't have to go through the entire showcase mode. Because here's my problem with showcase mode. They give you the objectives to do, right? You have to have to do a certain objectives. You have to, hit two grappling strikes or two strong grapples and things like this. And now they also give you things where you have to do something now when it's in a certain amount of time. Like one of those things, you had to make sure that Rey Mysterio didn't leave the ring in 2 minutes. Now listen, you can put the showcase mode on easy, but even then, I found myself still still having trouble on easy doing some of these things, and it's just like frustrating. Like it's like at this point, I don't want another showcase mode. I really don't. I don't want another showcase mode. However, especially with this new thing that they're doing, you have to go through showcase mode to unlock special characters and or special things like that, arenas and wrestlers and all those other things, and that was ridiculous. And so yeah, I am down for this being the last showcase mode WWE 2K does. There doesn't need to be no more showcase modes. And besides, you already did John Cena. right? You already done John Cena. You've done like the WrestleMania stuff. Yeah, sure. There are others that you can. Sure. I don't think they've done an Undertaker showcase mode, right? I don't think they've done an Undertaker. I'm not sure if they did a Shawn Michaels one. They might have done one like in the early versions of 2K26. WWE 2K. I can't remember. Steve Austin, The Rock. You know, whatever. Like, I'm not sure. But even still, because they don't have access to some of the other people, like you can't do if you want, even if you want to do a Bret Hart showcase mode, which would be fantastic. Two of Bret Hart's greatest matches are with his brother Owen, and because Owen's wife and family won't let WWE, you know, use his name, image, and likeness, NIL, you're not gonna have those matches in the game. So, like, and I'm sure that there are other things that you can't do as well, like when it comes to Bret Hart and things like that. So, and don't want to redo the whole thing over again. So I'm kind of over the showcase mode. I really am. That can be gone. According, for all our sakes in the next one. I'm very much over it. And I just mentioned just a minute ago about the ringside pass. Like what they used to do is you used to be able to buy the accelerate. And what that would mean was that all of the hitting items would be unlocked. It would be unlocked at the very beginning of buying the game. So that you wouldn't have to, do all of the things to get the unlockables, or anything like that. You wouldn't have to go through and do any other things to get them. Everything was unlocked. Events, superstars, whatever. But this year, what they've decided to do is they've decided to just be all types of ridiculous. And now now you have this ringside pass, which is their version of the battle pass that you see in Call of Duty. Call of Duty has a battle pass where as much as you gain XP, and when you gain enough XP or gain enough things, it goes levels where you can unlock it. You can unlock new weapons. You can unlock tokens to have 30 minutes of double XP and things like that, right? So it's the same thing here. You unlock, but now you're unlocking superstars. You're unlocking, doing this. Now what you can do is you can just, buy it. Buy the tiers. But that's going to cost you extra money. Which is garbage. And it took so long. Now, they did have a patch where they upped the upped the XP that you would get for like matches by 20%. They did up their matches at 20%, and they did change it because some people had found a hack to where not a hack, but whatever, I don't know what you would call it, but a quick way to try to gain EXP, and that would be like you would get somebody strong and get somebody strong, get somebody weak, and you would change the gameplay stuff so that you could grab them in a submission hold down the button or tap the button real fast, and then make them tap out, and within seconds, and then you would keep getting XP, and you would rematch, so you would like level up faster. But they put out a patch where that was nerfed, so now you have to the match has to be at least 60 seconds for you to gain any XP. So it's still, so you still have to do a match 60 seconds. It's still, people still gonna game the system. Game the system by that way, but I saw someone on Twitter who was a part of the development team for WWE 2K, who said that doing all this isn't the way it's supposed to be done. Well, hell, this ringside pass sucks. It absolutely sucks. And there should be no reason for this to be in the game again. Bring back the accelerator so that we can buy everything at once and have it unlocked at once. As we can have everything unlocked at once, I keep saying have everything unlocked at once, but it's not really everything, right? Because when you get the game and then you open up and you go to like the rosters, they get all of these other wrestlers that are locked, right? And it's not only like the downloadable wrestlers or any of the wrestlers in the ringside pass, but there are wrestlers from My Rise. There are wrestlers from My Rise that are locked. And you have to go through My Rise to unlock them. Now see, here's the thing. If you're going to put the wrestlers from My Rise onto like the roster, I'm totally fine with that. In fact, I would prefer that, because those would be, and when you do your universe mode, those would be good wrestlers to have down in NXT, or even for some of the lower, for some of the lower ranked wrestlers. It'll be a good jobber. You know, you could have a jobber match. You could have Shinsuke Nakamura versus Cole Quinn. Have Shinsuke beat Cole Quinn, you know, pretty quickly, and then do your rivalry situation where the rivalry you got with Shinsuke Nakamura could come out and, you know, and do things like that. More entertaining. But it's like behind My Rise, and again, maybe I'm in the minority, but I don't play My Rise. I don't, and I never will. I'm not into My Rise. I want to do my universe mode. I want to do my GM. I used to do my faction, but my faction even is ridiculous, because they make that shit, you know, uneasy to do as well. So it's stupid. So either keep the My Rise wrestlers in My Rise, or if you're gonna put them into like the game roster, the 4-play roster, have them be already fucking unlocked. Or you know what? You can just do better and get rid of the fucking whole My Rise thing to begin with. It's stupid. Doesn't need to be there. It just doesn't. Okay, so let's see. Let's talk about universe mode for a second. Now they did some upgrades to universe mode. Some of the upgrades that they had an upgrade that I wanted, and one of my biggest issues with universe mode the past 3 or 4 years have been that it would always say you import the 4-play roster, you know, into, you know, when you start on universe mode, you can import the 4-play roster into the, you know, into the universe mode. But it was never that way. It never happened that way. Because I guess I would disable tag teams, like I would disable, like if let's see what happened. Okay, so let's say this. This past Monday on Raw, right? Finn Balor was excommunicated from the Judgment Day. So in the past, if I took Finn Balor out of the Judgment Day for the 4-play roster, started a universe, started a universe mode, a new universe, and I wanted to import the 4-play roster, Finn Balor would still be on Judgment Day. And it'd be like, well, what the fuck? What was all that for? Now, what they have no what they've had done, at least for the tag teams. I need to see if I didn't look, but I need to see if it's like that for the other roster as well. But you can now at least import like your tag teams. So for instance, here's what I did. Legado del Fantasma is no longer, right? Because Santos Escobar is in AAA. The Garzas are by themselves on SmackDown, right? So I took away I disbanded the Legado del Fantasma. And by doing so, I also disbanded the Los Garzas tag team. So I had to recreate recreate that tag team. And that's what I did. So when I was doing checking all of this, trying to see what the new universe was like, universe mode was like, when I looked into it and I was able to import it, bam, I was able, it had Legado del Fantasma there, but once I imported the for play roster, then Legado del Fantasma was gone, and Los Garzas was there. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. That's a step in the right direction. However, there is still some issues with importing because I was doing this whole thing where I was like setting up some of the things like with my created players, and I was giving my created players I was giving my creative players, some rivals, right? Because now they set up so that you can have the allies and the rivals, in the full play roster, which is fun. I think that's a good thing to do. But once you import it to again the universe mode, that doesn't stand. I gave one of my created wrestlers 5 rivals, and when I imported it, he had no rivals. So I'm not sure what it is. So I'm actually doing this live right as I'm talking to you. So I'm looking to see. Okay, so like I can go and there is no import for the regular. There's no import for the regular for like the regular superstars, but there is for the tag teams. So see again, that's something that they've got to fix and things like that. One of the things I didn't check out was. Again, you said they could import from the show, from the show to the from one universe to another, and I have to see if that is what the case. And actually, I can do this right here, so I can back out of here, start a new one. Let's see, import from universe save slot 3. No turn tutorials off. Classic mode. Just go to universe main menu. So now let's see. And it doesn't work. Because in universe mode 3, I've got my created players on brands. Raw and SmackDown. And it did not happen. So it's again. So yeah, so it had the ability to import the tag teams, but still, it still needs a lot of work with that importing. It really does. It needs a lot of work with the import. And some of the upgrades they had is cool. New motions. There's now promos on there. After one match I had, there was Roman Reigns. Was it Roman Reigns? I forget who it was, but someone had a match with someone, and Cassie Kelly was there giving an interview after the match. So I thought that was a good something to see. I agree with a lot of people who have said that they would like to see like promos backstage with Cassie Kelly and Barbara Saxton and Jackie Redmond, and I think that is, I think that could work too as well. Also, Universe Mode, now you can move the matches. So I'm sure we've all done this. We were in Universe Mode. We were creating the matches, right? But then we realized that we had the main event maybe being, no disrespect, we had the main event being Chelsea Green versus Zelina Vega. Maybe we wanted the main event to be Roman Reigns versus, Cody Rhodes or something like that. So then we had to delete it, delete those, and then go back and do it over. Where now you can just move the matches. You can move the matches around. You can select it, and then you can move the matches down so that you don't have to delete it. You can do all your matches, and then you can actually put the card in the way you want to fix it. So I think that was a good one. I like that. I did like that. That's one of the pros. But let's go back to more cons. The staying universe. Well, again, one of the things that I was asking for Universe Mode again is that you should be able to save. You should be able to create and save custom matches. Meaning that if you First Blood isn't in the game, right? First Blood isn't in the game. But let's say you create a match with Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes, and you go to the options. And actually, I think you can't even create a special match. I don't think you can't even do it. I think if you go to options, you just can't even do it. Everything is locked. But what you should be able to do is, if you wanted to make it a First Blood match, you should be able to do it with a thing where you can turn off the pin submission, turn on First Blood, and then you have Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns in the First Blood match, which you can then save to use, elsewhere in the foreplay, options. So that's another thing Universe Mode's got to get their game correct, things like that. So that would be it. So let's talk about the creation suite. Again, I may be alone in this, but I don't think I am, because there are some people out there who create their own leagues. They get Wwe 2K, and then they create the indie wrestlers or in the AEW wrestlers and the NWA wrestlers and the TNA wrestlers, and they create their own show. They can create their own TNA Impact with all of the TNA wrestlers. And you gotta wonder, how long does that take? Now, in the past, I like to create about 20 wrestlers. I create 16 male wrestlers and 4 women wrestlers. And normally in the past, that would take several days to create how they look, to create their entrances, to create their movesets, and everything like that. And that's got to be able to be toned down a little bit, especially like with the entrances. Like in the past, they used to do things where it was advanced and it was easy. So all you did was, if you went to easy, you would just select the motion that you wanted, and then that was the motion. That was your entrance, and that was your victory motion. Was selecting, whatever you selected, generic Superstar 4. or whatever. So they need to bring that back, because now it's just the advanced mode. It's just advanced mode, and and also the way they have it is like the way you preview it is it's like you can't just like it has to be like full screen preview. It can't just be like onto the side and where you can just it's it's really all that stuff. Yeah, you should if you can create an entrance, the motion that you select for create an entrance should already be for the victory motion. Should already be there. So I don't have to go to create a victory and then select the best kept secret if I selected the best kept secret for my entrance. So you know they've got to fix that. And speaking of motions, they need more motions. They really do. They need more motions. They need more truly generic motions. Right now they've got about 20 generic motions. Really, to be honest with you, they should have probably about 50. They really should. They should have about 50 generic motions, and they don't. And a lot of the motions that they do have are just motions of other wrestlers. Now again, that's why advanced mode is there, right? Because you can create your own special motion by selecting, you know, different places for the different things. But again, that's so time consuming, especially if you're creating a whole show. You know, like some of these people are. You know, creating 16 superstars. Like I am. Like I do. That's tough. So I think they need to create more generic motions and have these generic motions be actual generic motions, not just of Chris Bay, you know, or of some other indie wrestler, or even people from AEW or whatever. No. Have true generic motions. You have people mocap moves and everything. Have people do mocap motions and break them down in between heel and face and male and female. Why is that so hard to do? So hey, I created a male heel. Okay, so then go down to the male heel motions. I created a baby face female. So get the face female motions. You don't now some you can tell and that's fine. You know you can tell, but still it'd be a lot easier just to be able to just sort that shit out. And again, another thing I'll say again, it's the same music. Although I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm okay with the same music. I just personally think they need, you know, it's been the same music for about 7-8 years. I mean, Biker has been on Wwe 2K as a music for maybe a decade. Same thing with Billionaire. Same thing with Candies or Neon. Like, so it's time to retire those and come up with some other music. And then you can go a decade with those. But, yeah. A whole lot of things that need to be fixed. And create the creative entrance. And then, like, the moveset. Again, I'm told, I'm down with the move sets. Again, I think there should be some generic move sets themselves as well. You know, take some time and just create. You know, if you're gonna create 50 generic superstar entrances, take some time and create 50 generic. You know, um, move sets. And I've been asking for years. Can we please, like, let's have something where we go to a move and we see if somebody is using that move, right? If I want to use Burning Hammer 3 as a finisher, I should be able to hit one of the buttons or hold the button or something like that, whatever, and I should be able to check to see if somebody else has that move. And if it is, then I'm not gonna use it. That's totally fine. Now again, I know there are people out there who have moves and you know they do the same moves, and that's gonna be okay. Like Backbreaker 3 is totally fine. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like some of these moves that are gonna be finishers, like a Burning Hammer, like maybe a sharpshooter or a figure 4 leg lock or whatever, right? So let's figure out. Let's just find a way to not only give us all the information about the move and how it hurts and everything like that, but also maybe figure out who had, you know, what wrestler or wrestlers are using that move at that time, you know, during the game. And also, speaking of that, you know, I also think we need to de-emphasize the fact of finisher and signatures and wrestling moves. I'm tired of going to the light grapple and seeing the tombstone power driver. Why? We know the tombstone power driver is a finisher. It's a finisher. Why can it be selected in light grapple? It's just so fucking irritating. And what's being selected in light grapple should not be used in heavy grapple. Well, no. Let me take that back. What are being used in heavy grapple? Maybe it should not be used in light grapple. Yeah, that's a better way of saying it. So, again, a lot of things still need to be fixed. This is why I said earlier, I would think it may be time for another company to do the WWE games. Okay. Oh, and really quick, back to the move sets. There's still way too many fucking taunts. We don't need a taunt for everything. A taunt on the rope, a taunt in the ring, a taunt, you know, a taunt on the floor, a taunt on the apron. No, just give us 4 taunts that you can use everywhere. 4 taunts, or not even 4, 3 taunts, right? You know, your crawl taunt, your opponent taunt, and your wake up taunt. Bam, and have it be able to be used everywhere. On the apron, on the top rope. Yeah, it's used everywhere. We don't need all those goddamn taunts. It's ridiculous. And then they should not have added taunts for the underground. It's not needed. It's not needed. Okay, so I guess we'll end this with a couple of the positives. The new matches they added, I think, are fun. The Inferno match, I've not played the Inferno match, but I've seen everything and it looks fun. I can't wait to play it. The I Quit match, I did play the I Quit match. I enjoyed that one. 3 Stages of Hell was great as well. The dumpster match is just the casket match reskinned, but still, it's a new added way of something else to play. Could be very interesting. Um, so I think I did like that. I think if there was one more match that needed to be added to this, the one more match that I think that needed to be added, or even still, maybe not even added, but we talked about like creating custom matches, right? I think maybe the one thing that should be added is be able to add pinfalls to the last man standing match, so then now you can create your own Texas death match, to where if you take a pin and then you gotta raise up, you gotta be able to get up by the count of 10, and if you can, the match continues, and if you can't, then the match is over. That's how the real Texas death match is, not some of the Texas death matches that you see on television nowadays. But that's how it's been. So I would love to see them add that to that, so that you can customize your own Texas death match, because they don't do Texas death matches in WWE. Although I think I would love to see them actually do like a real one. But we'll see. But yeah, I think that's something that they should be adding for that. One of the things they added this year is that they had it last year where the blood would stain, but I believe last year blood would go away. This year, not only does it stain, but it stays, and it's amazing. In my universe mode, I did NXT New Year's Evil, because I started in January, which is again another positive of the universe mode, where you can truly customize and start and select your pay-per-views and everything like that. So I want to get that's another thumbs up that you should give to them for the universe mode. So I started in January, and I had the New Year's Evil, and I had an eight I had a 14 ladder match, and I didn't play it. I just watched it, and my God, it looked like a crime scene. Because in some of the places they were bleeding, and it was just it stained. It stained, and it truly looked like a crime scene. And then once the match was over, and the next match started, blood was still out there, and it was like Blake Monroe and Sol Ruka was wrestling in the guy's blood stain. So it was like that, and so that was cool until it crashed, and then once I restarted it, the blood was gone. But that's neither here nor there. Um, but yeah, I thought that was a really good thing. Another really good thing. It stays now on the shows, so I think that's something good. Um, and it also stained everywhere. It stained the side. The blood stained the side of the ring apron. It did. It stained the side of the ring apron. It was amazing. You had to see it. I should have took a screenshot of it. It was absolutely insane. Um, so like that. And finally, my GM mode. Yes, this is incredible. To give us more money. It used to be 3,000 was the most. Now you can get 7,000. Not 7,000. 7,000,000, 3,000,000, and 7,000,000. And now you can get more people on the roster. You know, more people on the roster, and then that stands for more things. You can do more things. You like if to get the special promotions card, you need to have somebody run in on one of your champions. Well, if you got CM Punk, you can have him wrestle. You can have him wrestle Miles Bourne, and then have Drew McIntyre run in on CM Punk. While still having all of your other people to use, you can do that. And they've also changed some of the things. They've got a lot more wrestlers under 100,000. So and when it comes to cash and keeping it, So now you get, so now you can create a whole roster. You know, you can go cheap on your roster and still have a ton of money. That's what I did with one of my GMs. Before I deleted it. You can go cheap and then have so much and have so much money that you can, you can do all those things. You can have money that if you wanna, if you feel like you need some more star power, you can go get some more star power. Oh, and of course, there's always the things about the buying, the shows and things like that. Although I'm really you know we talked about at the very beginning about the ringside pass and how they put out a patch where now you get 20% more XP to be able to level up quicker. They need to do something like that about my GM where because like to upgrade your stuff you need to have like these, I forget what the hell they're called. I still got the game on. Let me let me quickly see what this go into one of my GMs and assets. Yeah, it's assets. So you need an asset to buy. Let's like I said, it needs 3 assets to buy the concert hall tier 2. Yeah, see that's and see every week you book you get 1 asset, right? You get one you get 1 asset a week. So once you finish the first week, we have week 2 with 2 assets, and then things like that. That's got to. I would say that would change. I'm okay with it, but it should, maybe what you should do is that you should do it where maybe the something comes up to where if you do something you get more assets. So maybe if you do the commissioner goal, so maybe if you do the commissioner goal, not only do you get a power card, but you get another asset. So then you end up with 2 assets that week instead of just 1. Who knows? That could be part of it. But my GM is still good. I love it. I'm glad to get some other GMs. For me personally, I'm not a fan of using wrestlers or wrestlers in my pool that have passed away. I want to be kind of realistic that way. And I don't want to use GMs who have with people who have passed away. Like I don't want to use Sherry or Miss Elizabeth or Mr. Fuji or anything like that. So I think if they could just I'm glad they added Stacy Keibler. I thought that was a great shot. They had Kurt Angle a couple of years ago. I don't know why they didn't have keep Kurt Angle as a GM. So I would totally be down with that. Yeah, as long as they're not dead. Keep adding people to the GM slots. They got the anonymous GM now. Really cool. So my GM mode, the improvements. Now you can do all the matches and you can have 8 ways, things like that. Love it. They did a great job with it. Again, the only thing I have is the assets thing, but otherwise, I think it. One thing I would ask. I mean, this is something that can be here or there. At the power card store, the power cards shouldn't just be random. I think you should be able to buy any power card that's available. You know what? Okay, so here's what we do. We're talking about this just off the top. If maybe you can buy any power card on certain weeks. Maybe like since they back to doing 50 week years, 50 week seasons. Maybe it's just like every 10 weeks you can go to the power card store and there's like how after every pre-on live event you get like a shake up. So then maybe after every 10 weeks, every 2 premium live event, you can go to the power card store and buy any power card that's available. by any power cut that's available. That would be a good shot. All right, y'all. I think that would be it for this review of Wwe 2K26. Let me give you my rating. Again, there's definitely some positives, but there are a ton of negatives with this game. The ringside pass, all of the stuff, other stuff that the creative wrestlers things and things like that, the My Ride stuff, the showcase stuff, still not, there's for much improvements that they have the universe mode, still not being able to truly import your 4-play roster is a true negative. The game is fun. The game is exciting. It's fun to play, but until they fix some of these other things, it's still a lesser than game to me. And the ringside pass really brought it down this year. For me, this is a 2-star game. This is a 2-star game. So that's it. Post your comments down below. Tell me what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think of Wwe 2K26. Did I forget anything? Post it down. Let me know about it in the comment section. Anything that bugs you, anything that you liked, post down in the comment section. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. This is your boy, AJTRIP, signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. And I am out.